Sekunden. Geben Sie zu, dass Sie beeindruckt sind?
Sehr.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Buongiorno, signora. Mi scusi, ma tu sei Niki Lauda? It's my owner, Niki.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
My car is your car. On one condition, eh?
It's a piece of shit, it's a dog shit, but if you drive it, you make my life very clear.
Will someone please tell me what's going on? Who are you? Should I know you?
What, you don't know? He's a Niki Lauda, Formula One driver, and he just signed with a Ferrari.
Him? That's impossible.
This is such a great scene.
Like an old man.
It gives you so much information about the characters without the need for exposition.
Why would I drive fast?
Because I'm asking you to.
Hello and welcome to the channel. The movie today is Rush from 2013. This one is a special one, because how often is it that real life is so much more dramatic than a movie? On the surface, this is the story of a rivalry, but in real life this was the story of a great friendship.
This is an incredible battle between these two great drivers.
Next time I'll have you. No chance. You're just a party guy. That's why everybody likes you. To be a champion, it takes more than just being quick. You have to really believe it. I've been waiting for this my whole life.
I can beat this guy, trust me.
He's consistent, dependable. Will he put his life on the line the day that really matters?
Welcome to the racing grudge match of the decade.
This is actual footage from Niki Lauda's crash on the Nürburgring in 1976. He should have died that day, but Arturo Merzario miraculously single-handedly saved his life. Niki's car snapped off the track into an embankment and immediately burst into flames. Arturo had to brave the flames twice before he could undo Niki's safety harness and extract him from the car. This is a Ferrari 312, similar to what Niki was driving.
More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari.
You've got a lot of sliding in this car, it's the way this car drives, and if you touch a curb with your rear tyre before your front tyre, you will spin. There is no other way around it.
Most of the turns and sections of the track are named.
That's why.
The turn where Niki had his crash is called Lauda Links, meaning Lauda left in German.
Getting quite close to where Niki Lauda had his crash now. I'll try and point out when we get there.
The crash happened on one of the fastest portions of the track, on the climb from its lowest point.
Now, Niki's crash, if memory serves, was just after the left-hand.
In the movie, the crash is depicted as being the result of a mechanical failure, but it's more likely the wet conditions caused the crash.
I always knew how dangerous it was right from the beginning.
This is an amazing interview from Graham
I was
Benzinger.
putting myself into. If you've been through this and you know how close you have been to die. So I said to myself, after this experience, I will never ever do anything in my life where out of stupidity of myself or not thinking, I risk something. So James, I mean, there are very few people which I say they are still alive. If you can say this about somebody, he has been outstanding. I will never forget, he's still alive for me.
What do you remember from?
They shared an apartment in the early days.
During your
This is a different picture than you get from the movie.
A lot of, how you call it politely, intercourse. Whatever he could get, he took. He had fun and he enjoyed himself. But in these days, we all had fun, I have to say. It was the typical racing driver's life, where the danger was difficult, so we knew we had to live extensively in the time we had available.
Our next driver is James Hunt, McLaren's first British champion. Though I'm not always sure his off-track activities gave our country a good name.
Codswallop! The man was a national hero.
This is an outstanding documentary from BBC Two about the James Hunt, Niki Lauda rivalry.
James Hunt was the last...
James actually punched people out and got away with it.
A dashing adventurer in the cockpit of his McLaren. His rival, Niki Lauda, was the reigning world champion, the man they called the computer brain. In 1976, they fought for the World Championship title in one of the most ferocious battles that Grand Prix racing has ever seen. The next race was at Nürburgring in Germany. To add to the dangers, the circuit was half wet.
When the track is wet at Nürburgring, it's as slippery as ice.
Niki decided to change the tires from wet to dry very soon, one of the first.
And then I went out of the pits behind Carlos Pace, this I remember very well. And I said, shit, now I have to follow the guy all the way around, where I lose a lot of time.
What happened next has entered Grand Prix history.
With modern safety regulations, it's very rare that a race car will burst into flames like this.
Lauda was trapped in a ball of flame. It wasn't until his old adversary Arturo Mezzario arrived on the scene and undid Lauda's belt that he was freed from the wreckage. He'd been breathing fumes for nearly a minute. Lauda's condition was much worse than everyone feared. Doctors believed his lungs were beyond repair.
And Marlene came and she started crying and screaming.
There is no reason Niki should have survived this. The only conclusion is that he willed himself to stay alive.
Hung on, and within 5 days was off the danger list. Hunt now had a total of 56 points, just 2 points behind Lauda.
For James Hunt, it was not only a great victory, but a great way to celebrate his 29th birthday.
Well, it's a nice position to be in, but it doesn't half put the pressure on.
The championship will be decided in the last race beneath Mount Fuji in Japan. On the day of the race, the rains came.
Imagine facing the same conditions that caused you to have a horrendous crash.
And then they said, now it's going to be dark in 2 hours. We need to start the race now. So I said, what the hell is different? The rain is the same.
Then the news spread through the pits. Lauda was out.
I pulled out, and Fittipaldi pulled out, Pace pulled out, I think 3 or 4 guys just stopped right away in the beginning because we said we can't accept. So he said, you get out.
There was so much pressure for them to race, but the conditions were clearly unacceptable. But even Niki considered for a moment lying about why he withdrew from the race.
Because it would fire back on me, because if the engine is perfect, it was me who didn't want to drive.
James Hunt returned to Britain the world champion and took up his seat on the celebrity roller coaster.
Niki tells the story of James losing all his money after he retired and helping him back from poverty. If that's not what a friend does, I don't know what a friend is. Thanks for watching. This has been an amazing story. Please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, enhance your calm and be well.